Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Today we are taking a look at how you can harmonize your mind, body, and spirit. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with Lotus feet, group number 2 in the center with Befriend your ego, and group number 3 on the right with Subtle vibration. As always, my loves, the timestamps to your readings are listed below in the description box. You're going to find, as well as the first link there, the link to my 21-day guided meditation retreat. You do have access to it forever once you purchase it. So it's a great way to retreat as many times as you'd like or need. It's a wonderful way to level up in your mind, body, spirit. And it's also a great way, since you always have access to it, to hold yourself accountable or take the guesswork out of your daily meditation practice. If you currently have one, you want to get back on track with it, or you're interested in starting one. It is both beginner friendly and advanced friendly. All of the meditations are between 15 to 30 minutes long. So it's a wonderful way for you to bring harmony and peace into your life. Feel like it's a little easier for you to meditate, like your spiritual journey has a little bit of a structure, and at the same time, if you are on your own leg of the spiritual journey, because we're all unique, it allows you to hop, skip, jump around, so you can utilize the meditations that feel right for you in the moment, that assist you on your journey, instead of just needing to take them in consecutive order. But I did create it as a journey, so if you take it in order, it will help you level up. But no matter how you choose to utilize it, it will also succeed in helping you do that. It is just a little love letter for me to you, since I had the time, availability, the resources, the love, so that's where it is. It's going to be the first link in the description box below. I do currently have one-on-ones available, so if you do want a personal reading with me, you're going to find that on my Etsy store at Spiritualistik. It's linked in the description box below as well. I do give astrology readings, astrocartography readings, straight channeling messages, tarot readings. I also do Reiki, for those of you who are curious. I've just been a Reiki master teacher for like over a decade now, so sometimes I forget to shout that out on here because the journey evolves so much over time. So I also do personalized light codes if you're interested in that too. I've got, of course, some fun little merch. I've written a few books on there on tarot, astrology. I've got prompted, like guided, and so much more. It's in the description box. And then the very last thing, if you want to join my book club, you are more than welcome. We just voted for our next book, and so our next meeting will be in October. They're always the first Sunday of the month, every other month. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can find me here on TikTok, on Instagram, on Patreon, of course. I've got a few exclusive content channels, one here, one on Patreon, one on TikTok, and they're all totally different. So if you'd like to explore your spirituality, your journey, and take some of the guesswork out of it, that is why I am here to assist you. So I love you and I'm grateful for you. Let's get into your reading. Namaste. Hi there, group 1. Namaste and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at how you can bring harmony to your mind, body, and spirit, and you selected the first group with the Lotus feet card. Group number 1, the first message that I'm channeling here for you is that you have been very, very spiritual, let's say very awake or very highly conscious for a very long time. Some could call you or do call you a spiritual master. You are not new to this journey in this life, or if it resonates with you, many lives before. You are also aware of there are a lot of fallacies in the spiritual community. You're aware that there are some dogmatic rules, stories, practices that do exist even in the new age spirituality scene that just are not it. And it seems as though there's a place of a question, where does a master like you belong? Now, this is not to, let's say, fluff up your pride. We're speaking objectively here. And so that definitely lets me know that there is a lot of respect due to the group number 1 individuals. This also lets me know here that because of this, since it's also not something new to you, you might find, well, yourself in either a hot or cold situation here, where there's a lot of respect that's due, and people have a wonderful time trying to disrespect you as much as possible. Or it has been such a long time, for so long, that you've been so respected that it's very obvious that you're in this place. If you are in the former, you will eventually end up in the latter position. We're all different ages at different places in our journey. We are all in different experiences in our individual incarnations here. So that is the spectrum of energy that's coming out here. So bringing harmony to your mind, body, and spirit has a lot to do with you taking a look at the lot that you were given in this life. I'm also being shown par fortuna. So you might look at fortuna in your astrological chart, in the transits, or fortuna, like the Roman deity, maybe Greek deity. I'm also being shown the fates. The 3 fates can be significant for you as well. Oftentimes, the most impactful and the most powerful energies are those the least mentioned, and the stories are usually not exactly on point. If you find, for example, that you try to look up the fates, you will find, oh, more powerful than Zeus. Oh, for sure, more powerful than God. They decide the fate of the universe. They decide the fate of God. Like even Source would ask the fates for help, and then you look for stories about it, and you're like, oh, no, Zeus is all powerful. Oh, no. In our book, we have our Lord and Savior XYZ, because there are 5,000 of them, right? And so whether you hold one close to your heart, which is valid and accurate for your journey, someone else might hold a different one close to their heart, valid and accurate for their journey. But when we're looking at this, you are in the energy of that energy of fate. That is, well, even those that people look up to them. You might be a tarot reader that reads for other tarot readers. You could be an astrologer that reads for astrologers. You could be an energy healer of energy healers. You could be a teacher of masters in Reiki, in psychology. You are the one where someone well-renowned, they learned from someone who learned from someone who learned from someone who learned from you. It's giving grandmaster energies. No matter your age, no matter your place in life, physically, spiritually, you are in this place where you see things very clearly. Now, this doesn't mean you don't have your human moments. In fact, you do. You are here for this reason, of course, to experience humanity. But it is a lot more your feet, your path that your feet walk, tell your story, more so than the words coming out of your mouth do. But that is also not to negate or disrespect the very valuable, high vibrational, healing, alchemical words that come out of your mouth. But you also don't mind whether or not you're talking the talk, because you walk the walk, subconsciously, not even thinking about it, almost accidentally. And so when you are intentional, purposeful, well, this can lead you to, of course, your own growth and expansion, but also a bit of this question, not who am I or what am I doing here, but maybe a little bit of where do I belong? And so we're going to look here about harmonizing your mind, body, and spirit. We will look at each one individually. We'll look at mind, then we'll look at body, then we'll look at spirit, and then we're going to look at harmonizing all 3 of those pieces together. So how you can find harmony in each space individually, and then how you can find harmony between all of them in that order. So let's take a look at group number 1, harmonizing your mind. Harmonizing group number 1's mind. How can group number 1 harmonize their mind? 9 of Cups. Okay, so be kinder to yourself. I'm being shown like looking at yourself in the mirror and going, oh, you're so pretty. And it doesn't just need to be superficial or visual, although it doesn't hurt, right? So it's also this energy of, no, I did a really good job at that. You are taking a look here at transforming your self-talk mentally. Now, in a positive way. I'm not really getting that you have negative self-talk like, oh, you're so blah, blah, blah. I don't even want to say it because I don't want to bring it into this energy. Not even necessary, not relevant. I'm not getting that you have negative self-talk. But what we're looking at is still bringing that self-talk internally to a higher place. Now you might say, oh, I know. It's logical. I know what I'm talking about. Oh, I know. I've had this spiritual energy my whole life. I know what I'm doing. I know that I know this topic. Right? But here, there's this essence of spirituality that's connected to it, which is the reason why this is coming through for your harmony in your mind. Because the mind is ruled by air. And, well, in tarot it is. Okay, not in alchemy. It's ruled by space. But we'll talk about that at a different time. In tarot, the mind is ruled by air. And so is the voice. Now, the throat chakra is also ruled by space. Fun fact, the heart chakra is air. When you get to throat, pineal, and crown, you are looking actually beyond these energies. The heart is air. The throat is space. The pineal is divine, and the crown is causal. But we'll get to that on a later date. I've got other readings where I talk about that in depth. So, you're looking at things that are ethereal. But to ground it, air. Speaking your mind. Allowing yourself to speak your internal narrative externally. The way that it exists authentically. Now, I'm getting that something about your moon sign, or something about the way that you express yourself. It can be something about your mercurial sign, but I'm really getting the moon sign energy. It's like your internal. When you express that, it might come out, let's say, a little rough around the edges, or it might come out very much the way that you experience it internally. And this is intentional. Of course, quite obviously. But bringing harmony to your mind here has something to do with the way that you express. And we spoke before about you having such value in what you have to say, in your message, in the tone of your speaking voice, in perhaps for some of you your light language, and perhaps for some of you your singing voice. In your voice, there is such value, such beauty that deserves respect. But it coming out authentically, of course it's going to be, well, off a little bit. It's not off, it's ascended. It's not off, it's masterful. If you step into a room where everyone is at, let's say, 432 hertz, and you are at 963 hertz, there's a difference there. Now, this is not to say one is better or one is worse. They are different. Now, you can go higher vibrational, lower vibrational, but you might learn eventually, if you haven't already, that comparative energy is a trap. Because what about the crown chakra energy is better than the heart chakra energy? See? You know not to compare yourself with others. So, in your mind space, you're also having a normal time being positive with yourself, but you're being encouraged to gas it up a little bit more. Why? Because it's going to affect the confidence, the tone, and the way that your message, your words, your song comes out of your mouth. Or out with your pen. Out with your song. And that is going to be powerful for you, which you already know. And so, for harmonizing your mind, we've got the death. Okay, we've got her sandwiched in between the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Realizing that saying things to yourself that make you feel good, affirmations, subliminal, oh, you're so pretty, oh, you're so smart, oh, you're so kind, oh, you're so connected to the divine, or I am divine, I am abundant, I am whatever it is. Not just affirmation for the sake of affirmation, but genuine, with the feeling attached to it, the cups, right? This transmutes, death card, into a new realization kind of energy. Now, it's not realization meaning that there's something that you need to understand or learn. Rather, it's the energy of realization where you feel more, you have stronger boundaries, more certainty, and a sharper sword, connecting to bringing that internal world into the external. Now, this is a perfect segue into the next chapter of this reading, which is how you can bring more harmony into your body. I'm getting focused less on strength and more on flow immediately, whatever that means for you, whether it's your Qigong practice, whether it's your weights, whether it's yoga, okay? Whether you are like maybe you're a muscle person, maybe you're a ligament person, this might be becoming a fascia person, okay? Woo. So your body wants to talk to you, okay? That's something that I'm getting, or your body is talking to you. I'm getting something specifically with the stomach here coming out. and also perhaps the sacral area of your body, okay? So to harmonize your body, it seems as though you're being encouraged to make a decision of self-love and to release a burden pertaining to something that you already know, you already do. Say that you eat really, really healthy all of the time, okay? But say that you have a friend, and every time this friend comes into town, you maybe don't eat healthy with them. Maybe you exercise, you're really, really healthy, and maybe you make healthy choices, the healthiest choices that you can while you're eating out constantly with this friend, right? But it will cause you perhaps to have digestion issues where everything is fine, you're healthy, you're exercising, you're eating well, you know what works for you, anti-inflammatory, whatever works. And then you see that friend, and then it's like that progress kind of like pauses, and then you have to redo it, and then it pauses, and then you redo it. It's kind of giving this gas breaks energy. And it seems to be an act of self-love here, where you might get stuck in the loop, okay, gently and respectfully, you might be getting stuck in the loop of, well, self-love is like letting myself just like go to town on a Cali burrito. It might also be, oh, self-love is actually giving myself foods that nourish me in a quantity that's healthy for me and making sure that I'm exercising. It's a little bit of this. Now I'm seeing that you know what to do and you know how to do it. But to bring harmony in your body, it looks like making a final decision here pertaining to an act of self-love or love itself. For some of you, I just want to drop a reminder that whoever you choose to be with, if you choose to be with someone monogamously, romantically, or even platonically, if you choose to be with someone in your life as a permanent partner kind of vibe, you will find that you no longer make 100% of the decisions about the food that you eat. You will make about half of them, and they will make about half of them. So you want to make sure that you're around people or a person that you trust the decisions they make with their own body in mind and the decisions that they make with your body in mind. And so that's coming through as well. Now, we did have some sacral energy coming through. And so part of the way that you can bring more harmony into your body is taking that same message that we just relayed and also applying it to sacral matters. Leaving that there. Okay? So, to bring your body into more harmony, we're looking at, again, focusing more on the self and having faith that things are going to work out okay. Now, you can engage in certain situations, of course, but we have the 9 down to the 10, and we have the Ace of Wands here. It's all in alignment. So this is a trine, indicating creative energy, spiritual energies, and good luck and harmony within the self. So you're going to find that this mental energy of loving yourself a little more deeply, I said what I said, maybe it looks like boundaries, maybe it looks like not questioning yourself. Maybe you don't question yourself, but maybe the tone that you use, it's like a little bit like, you know, we could like maybe, like you could question it. I mean, like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm just going to deliver it like a little more gently, right? No. So you're going to find that specifically with this matter of the body, it's going to be connected with this mental energy that we mentioned here. Now this trine, this lucky energy, 10 of Swords, releasing this burden, combined with this realization, the Ace of Wands realization, that's less you learning something or figuring something out, and a little bit more of this naturalizing that energy into your field. Maybe it's enough is enough. Maybe it's, yeah, I don't deserve this. Maybe it's I'm too good for this. Okay. That combined with releasing this burden, this realization, and this coming back to yourself, this 9 of Pentacles, focusing on yourself and building in that energy too, it's going to build you in the direction where the divine does have a surprise for you that is tangible and physical that you can hold with your hands. And it's going to be lovely. But a big message here about bringing harmony into your body, it's more about not how fast can you snap back or how well can you snap back or how hard can you snap back. It's about how can you show up for yourself consistently, even on the days, even in the moments where you might have some people around you that are like, yeah, well, like sometimes self-love isn't like making sure you're hitting your macros and getting your protein. Sometimes self-love isn't like meditating. Sometimes self-love is just like going and getting drunk and like smoking a ton of cigarettes and like eating a ton of junk food that you know has like forever chemicals and plastic in it. Like, love yourself. That's not self-love. There's no argument that that's self-love. You can take emotion and you can take a fact, and they can coexist, but they can't debate. So you have this, again, fact, looking at this mental energy. And as this is kind of winding back into your grounded self, into your body, notice I said winding back into, because you're not a stranger to this. Harmony with your body looks like making the decision to say, yeah, you know what, like your feelings are like so valid, and like I just want to love myself, and also like you're wrong, or I'm not treating myself like that. You do whatever you want, but I'm not doing that, or I deserve better. It's this, and then this vocal energy comes out with it too. But with your body, it's consistency. It's not, well, it's fine. I'll just have one cigarette, and then I'll just make sure that I'm doing extra pranayama over the next 2 months. Now, wherever you are with your journey, with your habits, with your growth, that's yours and yours alone, and you should love yourself through that process no matter what. But there are certain things where there is a right direction and there is a wrong direction. There are a lot of things where there are not, and it's subjective and it's individual for you. And looking at individuality for you, you know that there's a right direction and a wrong direction. You can eat I don't even know what they have at McDonald's, like a greasy plastic cheeseburger that doesn't decompose ever. Or you could eat a mix of vegetables with tofu and beans and nice and healthy and clean, and it came from the farmer's market, and you know what's good for you, right? And there's an objective correct answer to move in a objectively healthier direction for an objectively loving yourself more perspective. Yes, but you could say, oh, just relax, loving yourself, it's just not giving a fuck. No. And you know it, and you don't do it, but there's something around where it's like, oh, well, maybe if I just, dip my toe and then I can snap back, right? But how many times you're going to dip your toe and snap back when there's something around you that is dishonoring your body? Now, again, this is going back to we have 2 twos here, which is 22. It's something activating. It can also be something active. So it can be something about someone who throws off your exercise routine, throws off your diet, but 2s are also related to the sacral. This can be someone who does not honor your sacred energy, someone who does not honor your pleasure, someone who does not honor your emotions, someone who does not honor sacral matters. So, moving on from here, we're going to take a look at how you can harmonize your spirit. How can group number 1 further harmonize their spirit? I'm hearing, their spirit's in harmony. I'm hearing for you, group number 1, you are at peace internally. You are genuinely at peace. I'm getting all of the nuance. They're for play. It's for fun. It's for entertainment. And it's beautiful. You're getting out what you put into it. You could put in less, and what you'd be receiving is still more than enough, because what you put in is more than enough. You have lifetimes and lifetimes, if that's your style of spirituality, and if it's not, that's okay too. You have lifetimes and lifetimes of positive spiritual energy that is allowing you to be in this place. Or you've done a lot of work in this life, you do a lot of work, you're very high consciousness, that's allowing you in this place as well. Now, looking at harmonizing your spirit, your spiritual energies here, there's a bit of a hiccup. Now, it seems as though we're looking at forward progress. There's a little bit of this 2-step forward, 1-step back energy perceived to you, and I'm being shown the energy of a retrograde. The planet's not actually moving backwards, my love. It just looks like that because the paths are, one is shorter, one is longer. We're looking at the longer one. So what occurs is, when you're driving faster than a car next to you and it looks like that car is driving backwards, it's still driving forwards. It's like this, okay? So don't compare yourself to something that is an outer planet, something that is outside of you, spiritually speaking. So for further harmony in your spirit, 2 of Cups. You've got it. You don't need more spiritual harmony. You have it. In fact, people come to you for spiritual harmony. Spiritual harmony, and it's this mental harmony. It seems as though we're looking at largely this in practicum. Not that you can't put it in practice, and not that you don't put it in practice, but we are looking a little bit, okay, I'm not going to lie, how does this spiritual mastery, mental mastery, how does this verbal, vocal, musical, how does this mastery that you have, how does it apply to things like your relationships? How does it apply to things like casual connections with people down the street? How does it apply to maybe your sensual, sacral energies, your creative energies, your pleasurable energies, your emotional energies? How does this masterful energy activate through your emotions? How does it apply in the next steps that you take? How does it apply? How do you be so spiritual and run a business? How do you have such a mastery and still interact with the mundane, with the nuanced, with the unimportant, with the superficial perhaps, with the, let's say, the rat race? How do you be such a master and then go on a first date to a bar? Right? But if you look around and that's the norm, how do you be such a master and then you look around you and the only conversations you can have are excruciatingly superficial, or they're gossiping, or they're complaining, when you don't want to step in and constantly be the teacher when it's not your job? Because there are times and places where it is, and time and places where it's not, and also you're here for the experience. So it looks like this is going to be what we're looking at with harmonizing all three of these things. Specifically around your home, I'm getting it starts with your home. Now, this might be inside your home, keeping your feng shui on point. It might be inside your home, keeping the vibe on point, the energy on point, maybe just keeping it tidy, right? Little things. Sometimes the biggest spiritual lesson, I saw this on a meme, and I think it's kind of cute and funny and a little lighthearted, so I'll repeat it, but sometimes the biggest spiritual test, it's not learning the pattern or breaking the pattern or transcending or evolving or realizing. Sometimes it's just putting away your damn laundry. And of course I say that jokingly, but this is where the energy comes through. It starts in the home. Okay. So how can we harmonize for group number 1, the mind, body, and spirit together? And it might also look at your neighborhood too. Okay, I'm getting, take this literally, spending more time in the sun. Okay, if you're not a fan of the sun, that's okay. If you're allergic to the sun, also okay. Okay, if you want to wear your sunglasses or your hat or your sunscreen, your SPF, if you want to do none of that, you want to do all of that. If you want to sun places where the sun don't shine, if you want to stare directly into it, if you want to use an umbrella and all the SPF in the world, your relationship with that is your relationship to that, and it's valid, okay? But spending more time with the energy of the sun, okay? You can also find a connection there internally through your solar plexus, okay? Now we also have, okay, your success here is something that you're being encouraged to lean into. You know where you're successful. You know how to become more successful. Your success, it's inevitable because it's already occurred. You know where it is. You know what to lean into. You already know. I don't need to give you advice on how to become more successful because you know. You might sometimes forget. You might sometimes get dizzy. You might sometimes need a little bit of a break. You might sometimes need to focus on things like that are a little bit more grounded, but there's no question where you're going or what you're doing. If there is, it's not because you haven't seen it before, it's because there's someone around you trying to get you to eat McDonald's, or there's someone around you that's trying to get you to smoke a pack of cigarettes, or there's something around you that is trying to get you to focus on where can you manifest money instead of peace. But you don't need to manifest the peace. You also don't need to manifest the money because you're at peace, and that's where those things come from. But it's easy to get confused. It's very easy to get confused. And so this is what we're looking at, this objective, you know this. So the harmony here, spend more time with the sun, what that means to you as an individual. Also, your success here is so important. It's falling under the death card with the phoenix energy of death and rebirth. Phoenix. You've built something before, you can build it again. You've come into mastery before, you can come into mastery again, okay? You've had that body before, you can have it again. You ate healthy before, you can eat healthy again. You had good boundaries before, you can do it again. You can build it again from scratch. You shouldn't need to, but you can, and there's no doubt about it. There's no question about it. And this is what we looked at a lot with your body and maybe even your physical, tangible life. You might have noticed a lot of times, maybe we have the 5 of Pentacles here in the spirit, so perhaps in your childhood, perhaps in your adolescence, or perhaps in your young adulthood where you were constantly needing to rebuild. You start to build and then something's taken, and then you have to build up from scratch, and then you have to figure out how to build from nothing because you know the game. Does that make the physical nuance fair? No, not necessarily. But with this level of mastery, focus on the sun, which might be the positivity, might be the optimism, might be the, oh yeah, I could do that. I've done it before, I'll do it again. No problem, no sweat. Why? For the entertainment. This is a highly conscious reading. It's a highly aware reading. And it also can be a reading that's highly triggering for somebody who's not in this state of consciousness, or for someone who is currently in that moment of dizziness that is looking to snap back because they have the internal knowing already. But, if you are eating your McDonald's, telling yourself it's an act of self-love, when that's not usually who you are or your vibe, that'll be the moment where that triggers you. And we all have those moments in our own ways. Or we all have the potential to have those moments in our own ways. Because remember, the journey is not about becoming perfection, it's reminding yourself that you already are. But that is not an excuse, as you know, for negligence of accountability. That's not an excuse for neglecting yourself, as you know, or your responsibilities. And so we have here, for bringing harmony into your mind, your body, your spirit, looking at the success that you have now and daring to open it up even larger. Push the envelope. Push the envelope, maybe with what you're saying, with what you're doing. You have your success, ask for a little bit more. Actually, go for bigger, go for better, because for you, that is the move. You also know here that you're not a beginner. That's a big thing. It's reminding yourself that you are not a beginner. Again, you're the teacher of 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 that student. So don't let that student walk around you and pretend to try to think that they could have a chance at pretending to school you. It's not about comparison. It's not about harshness or kindness or truth. It's about fact. Back to what we spoke about in the mental space. Respect. Now, there are two forms of respect that people often function through. One being basic human decency. Treating someone like a human. Hey, a little respect, please. Excuse me. Drinking water should be free. I said it. Okay. Now that that's gone, people shouldn't own rainwater. Where I live, it's illegal to collect rainwater. Fun fact. But another way that people use respect is authority. Respect me as an authority to you. Now, oftentimes, there will be a dynamic in this human realm, which is very strange, which is you respect me as an authority figure. And then, if you do that, I might give you respect like a basic human. That is not equal. That is not respectful. You treat everyone with basic respect. However, while those two things are not energetically in alignment, and honestly the English language needs to do a bit better, so does society, you are not a beginner. You are not a beginner at your light. You are not a beginner at your success. You are not a beginner at your path. You are not a beginner at what it is that you do in this world. You are a master. You don't even need to be here right now, listening to a reading about harmony between your mind, your body, and your spirit, as though there's something that could possibly be out of line, but you're here anyway, because you are the one that's open to it. Open to learning, open to growing, open to constructive criticism perhaps, open to understanding further, open to rereading the beginner lessons. Not because you don't know them, not because you need to learn them, but because it's due diligence, because it's self-love, because it's kindness, because it's fun. So bringing further harmony between your mind, body, and spirit has a lot to do with relying more on yourself and less on others, not being afraid to, I'm not a huge fan of this phrase in this context, but play the devil's advocate, not being afraid to be the odd one out, not being afraid to confuse other people or stress other people, not intentionally, not with the intention to confuse or stress someone, but if you don't get it, you don't get it. If you're sitting in the beginner level class, but you taught the teacher who taught the teacher who taught the teacher who taught the teacher who taught that professor, but you're sitting in that class, it's because you are humble. But that does not mean that you're not going to maybe have a conversation with one of the students when you're studying together, or with the teacher that doesn't leave them confused. And if it does, it's natural. It's normal. Because you humble yourself enough to always know in the present moment is square one. And you can go to square 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or high vibration to the tippy toe of your consciousness, whatever, but you know what that also looks like? The present moment, which is square one. And you know that? You know that. For some reason, we're playing rubber band. Maybe because it's fun, maybe because you want to experience a new person or a new flavor or a new vibe, or because you've been working so hard and you want to take the edge off. Okay. Valid, beautiful. But don't let that shake you off of knowing who and what you are. For further harmony here, we're looking at not... Okay. I'm being shown this scene from Mean Girls. Not the spiritual reference you were expecting out of me right now, right? Where Katie, the Lindsay Lohan character, the main character, she pretends to be bad at math because she likes a boy, Aaron Samuels. And he's tutoring her, giving her the wrong answers. And she's like, oh, wait, that's so weird. I actually got this answer, which was the right one. And he's like, oh, no, see, here's where you got it wrong. And he was like, here's how you do the work. And it was wrong. And in her mind, the whole time, she's like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And she ends up failing the class. Because she's trying to just navigate the world in a particular way. So it's kind of giving this energy, okay? Don't let other people, if you know that they're giving you the wrong answers, even if they're trying to help, you don't need to accept it, okay? So for more harmony, focus on your success, what that means to you. Success, everybody has a different version of success. You can find Webster's, that's great, that's fine. Someone's going to say success isn't material, and someone else might say, no, success to me, it's having enough money to be stable and secure. Someone else might say, oh, that's super superficial. My success, it's getting close to the divine, full consciousness, awakened, aware, in love with being in love with love itself and divine consciousness. Great. Your idea is success, moving towards that, because all of the shells will fall off, and it is one and the same anyway. You're already that master. So chase it. Not runner chaser, chase it, it's going to run away from you. Oh, no. Go for it. Expect bigger, expect better, because you're asking simply for what's in alignment with where you are, not with what fits in the beginner class around you. And with that, continue to, I'm getting channel your messages, receive your energy, receive your healing, continue to, not healing because you're not broken, because energy cannot be wounded, but our bodies can, but our emotions can, but our pride can, but our ego can. Continue to receive, continue to be inspired, continue to be passionate, continue to move forward, continue to protect. I'm being shown this is a pentacle, but inside the pentacle is a pentagram, this 5-pointed star, and we put it in a circle, and it's the pentacle. It represents like a coin in the tarot, but if you are into any sort of craft, you will recognize this as well as a protection sigil. Some people don't like that, and you go, oh, Colleen, that's not my flavor of spirituality. That's totally cool. What we're looking at here is protection of yourself. We're looking at connecting with, maybe if it's for you, the elements. Maybe if it's for you, the zodiac sign. Maybe if it's for you, the chakras. Maybe if it's for you, your aura. Maybe if it's for you, whatever it is. Maybe it's some salt in the corners of your house. But what it is protection. Not because there's something out there that's out to get you, but rather because faith and fear do not exist in the same place. And this is an affirmative, see the mental space, this is an affirmative action, an affirmative thought, an affirmative energetic boundary, an affirmative something that moves you closer to that faith. Not faith in insert dogma, not faith in insert story or being. Faith meaning an open crown chakra. Faith meaning connection to ... consciousness, self, love, light, God, universe, source, you name it. Now here, there's one more thing. Expect things to continue to flip inside out as they have. What got you here? What led you to this reading? When you're on top of everything, and then absolutely nothing. When everything is exactly the way that you want it, and then it's absolutely the opposite of the way you would want it. When everything reflects exactly what's going on internally, and then it reflects exactly the opposite. It will continue to turn inside out over and over and over. It will flip positive, then negative, then positive, then negative. Why? Because you are the observer outside of duality. Because when you look at the yin and the yang, This is a 3-dimensional structure that when you turn it on its side becomes, this is called Keylontics, the portal, the black hole. What this is, there's that little dot of yin that's in the yang, and what it is, it's a vacuum. The darkness, it's a vacuum. It vacuums into the yang, and what does that do? It spits it out through that little piece of yang, and it spits it into the light, which has that little piece in the yin, and it spits out to the whole thing. And what's that going to do? It's going to size, right? So we have this figure 8. It's the infinity, but it's also like the Klein bottle, if you're into that, leading you into the 4th dimension, which leads you into the 5th dimension. And we're not here talking about, no, the 5th dimension, it's knowing that all of these astral stories are true. Nope, astral is 4D. Sorry. It relates with the astral, which is the heart chakra, which is the 4th, which is experience, it's time, it's projection, it's stories, it's still 4D. 5D is outside of time and space, so if there are stories attached to it, it's not 5D, okay? You know it. You feel it. Maybe we've got some stuff coming up, that's okay. We got a little heart chakra work just to clean it out. Yes, it is that simple. But with that, to bring harmony between the mind, the body, the spirit, you're being called to look at things, continue to flip inside out, and say, oh, this one's in the yin. Oh, we're going to yang. Oh, we're going to yin. Oh, we're going to yang. Yeah? So, group number 1, I absolutely loved reading this energy for you. Amazing, magical, conscious, divine, as you are. I love it. Not every day I get to stumble across an energy like this and get to read it for the public on YouTube, so thank you for being here. Seriously, I appreciate you. It would mean a lot to me if you liked, commented, and subscribed, if that resonates with you. With that being the case as well, if you'd like to meditate with me, I have my 21-day guided meditation retreat. If, again, that resonates with you, it's a great way to kind of take the guesswork out of your dailies. Once you have it, you have access to it forever. So it's in consecutive order, intended to be taken as a journey, but you can also skip around. You have access to it forever, like I said, so you can do anything under the sun. It's good for beginner. It's also good for super advanced like you are. So I have that with everybody in mind. So I love you. I'm grateful for you. I do have personals. They're on my Etsy, linked in the description box. I've got a whole spiritual store there. If you like my tarot and oracle decks, if you like crystals, I make some merch. I've written a few books. I've got journals out there, so on and so forth. You know, the kind of stuff you find on a spiritual store. It's going to be on mine, but I'm going to be the one that made it. So with that being said, I love you. I'm grateful for you. If you're interested, follow my YouTube membership channel, follow my Patreon exclusive content channel, or follow me on TikTok. I've got a membership platform over there too, or on Instagram. You know where to find me. I'm around doing stuff like this. So I love you. I'm grateful for you. And I'll see you next time. Namaste. Well, hello, group number 2. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at how you can harmonize your mind, your body, and your spirit. And you selected the second group with the Befriend Your Ego card. Group number 2. A while ago, while being a relative term, I'm feeling that you in some way had the rug pulled out from underneath you. It can be in a romantic relationship, it can be in a housing situation, it can be with a friend, a family member. It kind of just seems as though, I'm being shown like the rug being pulled out from underneath you, which would make most people fall flat on their back. But I'm being shown for you, it's a little more like when a magician or somebody pulls a cloth off of a table and all of the cutlery, all of the dishware still stays on top of the table. Like they thought that they got you, but they didn't. Now, why is this coming up? Well, group number 2, this energy with the Befriend Your Ego card. When something like this occurs, you see someone try, maybe a glass or 2 knocks over, right? You are perhaps saying, well, maybe I just should have kept the truth to myself. Maybe it's my fault for having feelings. Some of you are going, nope, not that, right? Good. Maybe I shouldn't be so proud. Maybe it's, oh, if only I didn't know so much. Maybe if only I didn't make them jealous of me, or if only I didn't make them act like that, or if only, whatever it is, you humbly, lovingly, out of compassion, trying to make somebody else's bad behavior towards you in somehow, some way, maybe, how could that possibly be your fault? Maybe you attracted it. No. Maybe you did something that warranted that reaction. No. Maybe you just need to learn and it's your karma, it's your bad karma. No. Maybe it's just the soul contract. No. No. And you know it too. And so, we're going to take a deep breath, lovingly, gently, at your own pace. I won't guide you through it because love yourself in this moment how you need to be loved. And we're going to explore the concept here, befriending your ego. Your ego is your sense of self as a human in your body in this life. Now, while to be egoic or arrogant is a bad thing, befriending your ego is the healthy connection to your solar plexus chakra. Insecurity and arrogance are two sides of the same coin. There's a reason why those who are arrogant try to tell people who are confident so often to humble themselves. Oh, you better take yourself off that pedestal. And you're like, really? I thought I was just standing on the ground. No, you dig yourself a hole and you go in there and you like it. And you understand that that's how you be a better person. While they're standing on a pedestal, daring to talk down to you, taking the rug out from underneath you. Whatever it is that's occurring here in the situation. And so, we're looking at you standing on your own 2 feet, knowing who you are. Being proud of yourself. Not prideful, but proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself, group number 2. And understanding that you don't deserve people or situations to mistreat you. You didn't deserve whatever occurred. You might have been trained to be resilient because you might have been raised or for a long time exposed to a situation where you learned maybe love needs to be earned, or maybe your feelings don't matter, or maybe they matter but to you and you keep them to yourself and that's your business. Or maybe if you just were a little less confident, a little less going for your goals, a little less of a dreamer, a little less of a doer, a little less pretty, a little less spiritual, a little less confident, a little less, you dressed a little worse, you wore a little less makeup, right? If you shrink yourself a little bit, then, well, by the way, you can never shrink yourself enough for people who want to see you like that. But second of all, that's never going to be the answer for you. And you know it too. And so, if you got confused, or if you got brainwashed, or if you for a second forgot your beauty, inside and outside, you're being encouraged to befriend your ego. Because the part of you that tells you that you are that person, you are them, that is not bad. Now, a comparative energy, oh, I humble myself, comparing yourself to them. Or, oh, I'm so much better than them. That is out of balance. All are equal. And you know who you are. When you love yourself, and we know this, group 2, you know this. People love you as deeply as they can love themselves. People see you as deeply as they can see themselves. But the thing here, group 2, is you see yourself. You know yourself. You love yourself. You respect yourself. And you respect other people the same way. You love other people the same way. You see other people as deeply. And so, sometimes though, that cannot be reciprocated. And it's not because you did some, it's not because you saw too deeply, it's not because you loved too hard, it's not because you did too much or you wanted too much, it's not because your standards were too high, it's not because you weren't humbling yourself enough, it's not because you weren't putting yourself on a pedestal enough, it was because you deserve to be comfortable and confident of who you are. And be proud of who you are too, because it's a beautiful, wonderful person. And sometimes there might be little things like, oh, I'm not proud of how I responded to that. That's okay. That's where growth comes in. But that's not your character. That's not who you are. Your character is not a mistake you made or that one time that you were pushed absolutely to the edge. Your character is not who you are when you're on top of the world, and it's also not who you are when you're in the trenches. So, let's take a look. For this reading, we'll look at harmonizing your mind, full stop, harmonizing your body, full stop, harmonizing your spirit, full stop. Then we will look at harmonizing the 3 together, finding balance between the 3. So let's take a look at group number 2. How can you find, came right out, harmony in your mind. Baby steps. Listening to an affirmations playlist in the morning, baby steps. Okay, letting yourself have some time to grieve I'm getting something here with the inner child. I'm getting something perhaps here about moving forward after a difficult time. I'm getting like the rug being pulled out from underneath you. And it's okay if that rug being pulled out from underneath you is a relief. It's also okay if it brings you grief. And it's also okay if there is space for both. Okay. 10 of Cups in reverse. Bring us with the Star in reverse. Oh, I see. So to bring yourself into mental harmony, you're being encouraged to ground yourself right now. And to find a balance here in how you can build yourself into a version of you that has grown and evolved, and use that version of you, trust them to then make your future plans and your future goals and your future aspirations and decide what it is that will give you peace. Because right now, mentally, there's a process that is being asked of you that you deserve to experience. And it might be that you did not deserve something. It might be that the things that those people said about you simply weren't true and you don't deserve to be talked about or treated that way. It might be that, well, someone tried to maybe you feel survivor's guilt because maybe someone pulled the rug out from underneath you or did something negative to you or something like this. And you're okay. You're at peace. Maybe it didn't affect you in one way. Maybe it didn't affect you materially like they hoped it would, but the fact that they would even try hurts your feelings. Maybe you feel bad about the fact that you're okay and they're not, but it's a consequence of their behavior, whatever it is here. So right now you're being encouraged mentally to find harmony by processing this and moving forward. Not moving forward in the way of trying to hyper-spiritualize all of this. What is the karma? Where are the patterns? How is this the soul contract? No, this has to be a twin flame dynamic because... Nope. Because what that's going to do, it's going to make you dizzy, respectfully deluded, and then it's going to ground you back to where you are. It is it's an obstacle course that is also a detour. So what you're being encouraged to do is ground, connect with your emotions, genuinely, authentically, and then you're going to learn what it is that's going to make you feel better in the future. For example, future me will be really proud of myself if I start doing yoga every day or a few times a week now. And so that's what you focus on. The baby steps that future you will be glad that you did. Future me will be really, really glad that I chose to journal this and cry this out and maybe go to therapy or maybe to have a trusted confidant around me or to educate myself on the situation instead of bottling it up or going, I'm fine, and just muscling through it. Future you will be really glad that you decided to continue to take steps towards your goals that you've been actively working on that the situation maybe tried to push you off of. And when you're at that version of you that is starting to experience or is comfortable and confident with the Befriend Your Ego card, when you're comfortable and confident after this transitional energy, not the one that's been imposed upon you, but the one that you chose to utilize, you use this energy as a glow up, you use this fire for like jet fuel. You give yourself space emotionally, mentally. You give yourself the love there. You do little baby steps that future you would be proud of. Maybe you say no to the pizza, you pick up a mango. Whatever it is that vibes with you, right? The future version of you, where let's say you are what you eat, say you're made out of fruits and vegetables and healthy, organic, plant-based proteins, and you've been exercising, and you've been meditating, and you've processed that grief, you've processed that rage, you've processed whatever needs to be processed there, that version of you, which you will have a moment where you go, oh, I'm so glad that I utilized that constructively. I'm so glad that I sat with that. I'm so glad that I loved myself through that. And now I can say it genuinely, confidently that I'm on the other side. I'm the version of me that is the result of these things. This is the version of you that you're going to trust now to carry yourself forward. This version of you that's not holding this grief, that's not experiencing whiplash from whatever just occurred, that's not saying maybe I was too confident, or maybe I was too humble, or maybe I should have been more humble, or maybe I should have been more confident, or maybe I shouldn't have said that, Or maybe I need to just remind myself all the time that I'm so imperfect and I need to walk around scared and sheepish and shy and just humbled. When that version of you is space to expand, luxuriate, understand, you'll have a few moments where you cry and you go, oh man, I don't like how I responded in those moments. You'll have a few moments where you go, I should not have been treated that way. I deserve way better than that. You're going to have moments where you're like, I'm so much better than that situation. And you're going to have moments where I just fell right back into it. I can't believe I allowed myself, right? All of that whiplash, if you will, mental whiplash. When you feel genuinely resolved from that, because in harmonizing, we're going to find space for that. We're going to love ourselves through that. We're going to love ourselves constructively through small, gentle, baby steps, actions. And we're going to love ourselves through understanding, oh, I wish I didn't miss that opportunity. Oh, I wish I didn't overlook that red flag. Oh, I'm just so upset and it's valid that I just can't do what I would need to do today, or whatever it is. A good cry, a good journaling sesh, whatever it is. That is bringing yourself into mental harmony right now. And not only is that okay that that's what it looks like, but that is healthy. How would you deal with this healthy? Because you definitely would know how to advise someone else through it. However, that does not make it easier when you are when you're facing the situation head on and so forth. There's change, and change requires adjustment. And your definition of what adjustment is, or why there needs to be adjustment, or what adjustments need to be made, that is something that deserves exploration. And that exploration is going to circle around to befriending your ego. Understanding that your confidence in certain things that you've worked your whole life to attain, that's not arrogance. That's just knowing yourself. Knowing that you're a good person, and if it gets twisted and manipulated and all of these awful things, knowing that you were in integrity the entire time, you always were the bigger person, you were always responding with kindness, and for some reason it wasn't enough. The version of you that might feel like you didn't advocate for yourself deserves space. And the version of you that knows who you are, that you never behaved in a way that you wouldn't be proud of, even for a second, if that's your situation, also deserves space. And so here's where we look at what adjustments really need to be made. Because maybe it was, no, I should have advocated for myself more. F that dude, that shouldn't have happened. I deserve so much better than that. I know it. Valid. Also, I want to come from a place of love and compassion and kindness because I want to be who I want to be in the world. It doesn't matter what's in front of me. I want to navigate my life in this way, regardless of external situations. Also equally valid. And again, does not make the balance between the two in this imperfect human world any easier. But we're going to find it. And that's going to be where we're going to harmonize our mental state. With the Ten of Cups reversed and the Star reversed, we're looking at a situation that maybe seems unrelatable, maybe seems like it's not ideal mentally. And so, there's a gentle reminder here, okay, that let's just say rejection or redirection is protection, or redirection, right? Rejection is protection, or redirection is protection. There are a lot of different nuances, different ways that phrase can go. And that's not to say, oh, like this happened for you, like you should be grateful that something negative happened, because no, that's gaslighting yourself and you don't deserve that. But what we're exploring here is that something isn't so black and white. You're going to get through it. And you also know yourself. And so navigating all of those coexisting things, all of those nuances where you're like, I deserve better, or, well, clearly I didn't, otherwise I wouldn't have been in that situation. Or, I saw the red flags, yeah, but I chose to. Or those moments of, I'm so glad that I said that, I totally gave him a piece of my mind. Also, maybe I'm not proud of how I behaved. Or alternatively, I absolutely love the way that I handled that situation. It was very peaceful, very kind, very compassionate. At the same time, I really should have advocated for myself. I really just feel that these things. And there are going to be some things here, well, maybe you should have just seen the red flags. Okay. There are going to be some things, this is where the Ten of Cups comes in reverse here, where you have this also mental inner knowing, okay, that this was not going to be your happily ever after situation. This wasn't going to be the job that takes you into your dreams. This isn't going to be the relationship of your dreams. This isn't going to be the thing that fulfills your dreams, but also there's a version of you that had your dreams slowly slowly altered in very small ways by being around the situation. That you are close, a little too close to the situation to seeing right now. I'm also being shown like a swapping situation. I'm not huge on the phrase destiny swapping, but there are people out here who are like, hey, what is it that you want to do with your life? And then they like get really close to you, they steal all your resources, and then they do what you wanted to do with your life. And then you're like, so now what am I supposed to do? Do I just do that with the resources that you took from me that I don't have now? Or do I just do the same thing that you're doing and make me look really weird? Like, I'm getting something weird like this. So there are going to be a lot of coexisting things that are opposite each other, adjacent to each other, that deserve space alongside each other. But we're going to sit with it. We're going to love ourselves through it. And we're going to have just this knowing that you do, okay, that this wasn't going to be your ideal, happily ever after, highest vibrational, most desired outcome. Whatever the situation is. And that's okay. You have space, you're happy about that, you're sad about that, you're confused about that, it's okay. All of those things exist, but we're going to sit with that, we're going to process that, we're going to give it what it deserves, what it needs. And we're going to take baby steps to move forward. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's gratitude journal. I know gratitude is maybe difficult in moments like this. One thing you're grateful for, write it down. A day, that's it. You don't need to be Nelson Mandela out here. Okay. Maybe doing 25 squats a day, all right? You don't need Arnold Schwarzenegger up in here, okay? We're looking at little things like this, okay? Next, we're going to look at harmonizing your body. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, group number 2, let me share something with you. Regardless of how you're currently feeling about your body, okay? Your current narrative about your body, maybe it could be a little more this or a little less that, or it could function a little more like this or a little less like that, okay? Right now, there's this energy where your body would like more appreciation from you, because there's some sort of, this could be, and I say this very, very gently, also I'm adding a small trigger warning in here that may or may not resonate with you, and I'm getting this lightly, but I want to mention it because it's coming up. There could be a little bit of like body dysmorphia coming through here. It could be a little bit of, I just need to be a little bit skinnier or a little bit more muscular. It could be, well, maybe my hair just needs to be a different color. Well, they like blondes, so I should be blonde. Or maybe if I could just finally get that perfect shave, or if I could just be a little more XYZ, because beauty standards all over the world, and also for us individually, and also in the media, they're all wildly different, and we all have a different perspective of ourself, okay? But what I'm getting here is that if you take a few photos of yourself, or some videos of yourself, or you maybe do a photo shoot or something like this, the reason that this is coming through is because when you look back at this later, you will see, wow, actually, you were doing great. You looked great. You will have nothing but kind things to say about yourself. But at the moment, you might not necessarily be in that place. Now, for those of you who feel pretty at peace with your body and where it is right now, you're being encouraged to maintain that direction. A lot of you have started something new, or there's something that you're trying to accomplish or finish that has to do with your body. Maybe it's an exercise. Maybe you have a personal trainer. Maybe you are doing a cleanse, or you're doing a 21-day reset, or you are doing something like this. Maybe you're trying to stretch every day. You're doing some qigong, something like that. What we're seeing here is for you to continue to build this energy up, and there's a little bit of this energy of stress at the end, or confusion at the end, because there's two things that'll come up here. One is, so now what do I do? What do I do with this now? You're building this up. You've got a personal trainer for 6 months. And then what do you do the week after the 6 months? What do you do for the 7th month? Right? How do you maintain that and continue to grow and build? Right? And then the second thing that's coming through here with harmonizing in your body is perhaps you work really, really hard. Maybe you're doing a super intensive yoga teacher training, and so you end up getting in really great shape. Maybe you're doing Ashtanga training. I've done it before, and let me tell you, I was in the best shape of my life ever. I was eating so much, and I was shredded, and I could put my leg behind my head, which I can't do right now. I'll be so real with you. But with that, I was feeling so good, so confident, so peaceful with my body. And so I saw some people I hadn't seen in a while, and they were like, oh my god, you look so skinny. Like, are you okay? You look like you should be like hospitalized, or like, what's wrong? And I was like feeling the best I've ever felt in my life. But that really poked a hole in my energy. And so what I started doing is I kind of shaved a couple intensive things off of my practice. I practiced a day less in the week. I ate a little bit more food, like a little bit more stuff, and I ended up like gaining some weight. And then the next time I saw those people, and this was subconscious, I wasn't like, oh, let me try to appease these people, right? That's not really how I function, but subconsciously, right? It gets to you sometimes, right? And so then the next time I saw these people, it's, oh my god, like, you've gained weight. Like, you could really afford to lose like 5 pounds. Mind you, I had gained like 3. Or that you could afford to lose like 10 pounds and I had gained like 8, right? So it's something like, just, you be kind to your body. Be kind to your body. Where you are right now is beautiful. And either you're not seeing it or you are. If you're not seeing it, trust me, let future you show you that yes, your body's beautiful right now. Okay? If you don't believe me, trust you in the future. Okay? Record it, I swear. Also, if you know that you are in a great place and there are people around you who are like, well, I have an opinion that I shouldn't express or probably even have, try your best not to let it get to your head. Continue to love your body, and also, whatever this build-up energy is, we've got Temperance, Peace, Knight of Swords, quick forward movement. It's also a Knight. Okay, then we have King of Pentacles. It's stable. It's permanent. Like, I have arrived. After this, we've got the Five of Swords. Okay, so now what? So let's pull that now what energy. So, of course, keep moving with whatever it is that you're doing. The Magician. Now you utilize this skill. You utilize this this new flexibility. You utilize this this body of yours that is nice and energetically tuned from all that qigong. You utilize this strength. You utilize this yoga teacher training, whatever it is. Now you utilize it to create something, but create what you want to create, not what others expect, not what you think the world needs, but what you want to create, what's authentic to you, because there are going to also be a few nuances around you. Oh, well, the world doesn't need another one of this, or you would be really good at this, or I think you should do this, or oh, are you sure you want to do that? Are you qualified enough for that? Oh, you're too qualified for that. You can't win. This is why right now, everything, the mental aspect, the body aspect, perhaps the spiritual aspect as well, we're going to take a look. It's befriend your ego. Befriend your ego. This might be a nice, comfy moment for you to do some time in solitude or to hermit a little bit if that feels healthy for you. I know sometimes people will isolate as a coping mechanism, and it doesn't always necessarily mean the healthiest response, especially if you have a tendency of being hyper independent. But it's a little bit of this, maybe the opinions of others aren't going to be the most helpful thing for you right now. Maybe trying to get advice externally isn't going to be the most helpful thing for you right now. Maybe it is, but maybe your friends versus your parents versus the other people in your family versus your neighbors versus your coworkers, they'll all have different opinions. Some of them will be, oh, try to get that person back. Oh my gosh. Some of them will be like, oh, screw them. They totally sucked. Someone else might be like, oh, best way to get over someone is to get under someone. Someone else might be like, oh, go meditate in a cave for 10 years. It's your fault. You attracted this. You attract what you are. Nah, not like this. Which is why we have this piece that you are at. You either are learning to see it, or you see it and you are investing in it. Your move for body harmony is to continue to move through any confusion, through any lack of clarity about what you're going to do with this later in the future. Because, again, right now you're being encouraged to take baby steps. This is the mental advice, and also to trust future you that you're going to know what to do with it, because you're not going to be wrangling some of those things that you're dealing with right now. And that's okay. That's actually very helpful for you right now. And I'm not always the kind of person to say, hey, leave it for future you. What you're doing right now is investing in future you. And trusting that the version of you that you're building right now will be a version of you that can make those decisions that you are going to love, that are going to get you to your desired outcome, maybe that you don't even know you desire yet. So, let's take a look at harmony within your spirit. We have the Two of Wands. Oh, okay. We see some very fast spiritual progression for you right now. It's giving like a rapid awakening, a spontaneous awakening, or just a lot of things are changing right now. So one thing that's showing up here is to remind yourself not to get too stuck to the stories that came out right in the beginning, okay? Because they're going to hurt you, okay? You might feel really good in the beginning, okay? Looking at how does my ex think about me? Is my ex coming back, right? Doesn't need to be that, okay? No shame in the game, but you know that's not healthy for you, and most of those people are lying. I'm sorry. What you're looking at here, it can be, no, it's not, it wasn't me, and it wasn't them, it was our soul contract. It's because in another, back again to that detour, okay? There's validity in all flavors of spirituality, but there's also anything you can fathom, there's something bigger than that. So, while stories might help you, while they might help you grow or move forward or evolve or heal or whatever you need in the moment, harmony spiritually for you, it's going to be don't stick to them. Don't hold them. Don't see them, affirm them, and then grab them and hold on to them and cling on to them for dear life. Okay? Because that will cause you pain. Same thing that we mentioned earlier about it's easy to get swept away into something and then it's a detour and then it lands you right back to where you were. Okay? Befriend your ego. Spiritually speaking, there is a change. There is some sort of it's in a spiritual undoing, but it's in a beautiful way. What I mean by this is that you are shedding layers of yourself, you're evolving, and when you see the tower with the 3 of Swords and the Devil, when you see this energy and you hear something is unbecoming, something is shedding, that's such a beautiful process, because that means a beautiful version of you is already inside, and you're shedding that skin. You're shedding those realities outside of you that don't align with who you are internally, because it's already there. It's already beautiful. Also, when you think about a flower, you're looking at, you had a flower bulb, and then it begins to crack open and it begins to blossom. Now you are in bloom. It's beautiful. That bulb will continue to come out in the center. So when you think of unbecoming, when you feel this shaking open, try your best not to cling to stories. Try your best not to cling to certain things where you're like, oh, okay, finally, this is fine, this is stable, this feels better than it did before, and hold on to it. And also, continue to be open to continuing to bloom and blossom. It might feel uncomfortable. The first petals that started to bloom, they're going to fall off first, but they're going to fall off while new petals are flowering. So, be open to that energy. There's an expansion of consciousness here for you that's really beautiful, and it's going to lead you into a lot of success, specifically materially and with your body. You're going to find here that in being more confident with your body, with yourself, with your place in this world as a spirit having a human experience, the more confident that you are in yourself as a human, the more you can breathe in spirit. And once you're breathing in spirit, then you feel nice and comfortable there. And when you're comfortable there, you can be confident there. And then that allows you to bring that into your human experience, the exact opposite of what we just mentioned. And it's a cycle, a continuous cycle of learning and unlearning. And so spiritually right now, there's a lot of unlearning, and that's okay. But a lot of this unlearning, it has to do with those little words, those little jabs, those little what if I, those little should have, would have, could have energies, those little well, I just wanted it so bad, why wasn't I enough, those little energies, those things like that. They're not little energies. They're not little when you're facing them at all. They're mountains. But when you are miles or kilometers away, the mountains seem smaller. So put one foot in front of the other. Give yourself the time that you need to navigate these. You're not going to be at the other side of them tomorrow. Although it might feel like it if you grip to, no, it's just a soul tie, contract, twin flame, okay. No, because they're karma, because what I am the spiritual justice warrior. Those are so sticky. I'm just, okay, forewarned is forearmed. And that's all I'll say on that, okay? Self-love, your journey will look however it's meant to look, and that is valid for its own reason. We're all different individuals having different experiences, but for harmony and spirit, there are a few things you're going to need to unlearn. And they might be some things you've been holding on to, clinging on to, that might be the only thing you've known to be true throughout this whole thing, the very thing that was keeping you going. And so when called to unlearn it, and it might hurt, but it'll hurt good. It'll feel good. Just like the flower bloom, the little flower bud that begins to crack open and blossom and evolve. It's going to shake up a few things, and you might be a little confused. Okay, so now what? It's okay. Spiritually, you are evolving. You're getting there. In fact, this is a huge spiritual evolution that you're going through right now. Probably one of the biggest ones yet. And you're going to go, Colleen, no way. You should see what I've been through. And exactly. Which is why the first advice, apart from befriend yourself. Huh? Please. Also, give yourself what you need. A lot of different things are going to come up at the same time. Forewarned is forearmed. They're all valid. Give them all space. Love them all equally. And allow yourself to unlearn. Then there will be room to relearn. And then unlearn more. And then learn again. It is a continual process of becoming. You will find, though, that this transforms you into a space where you look back and you say, wait, I'm exactly where I wanted to be. And I got myself there with baby steps. I didn't even realize that I had manifested my way here. You're going to feel abundant. You're going to feel like the wildest dreams that you had that feel unattainable in the next 20 years. You're going to find them all over the course of the next 1, maybe 3 years. And it's going to absolutely be worth the effort. Not effort like pushing yourself. Not effort like being unkind to yourself, but effort like being kind to yourself. Effort like befriending your ego. Befriending your ego on the days where it's like, oh, well, I just really am so much better than that. And also on the days where you're like, oh, why do I not deserve it? I should really just be better. Befriend. Sit alongside it. Because the version of you that sits alongside it is actually yourself. The version of you that observes it is actually yourself. The two sides of the same coin here, energy, that insecurity and that arrogance, and I'm not saying that you are either. It's that hot and cold energy of an out of balance solar plexus. The version of you that befriends those energies, that sits with those energies, the version of you that holds all of these multidimensional facets, aspects of you, that's who you are. And so there's this expansion, there's this realization, there's this becoming, this unlearning, this unbecoming and rebecoming, as what is around you matches who you are internally, as you begin to actually see who you are internally, because maybe it's been clouded by a few external factors. So that's the spiritual harmony. We're going to take a look at how we can harmonize all 3 of these here for you, group number 2. How can we harmonize the mind with the body, with the spirit? 2 things. Taking your time and letting yourself unlearn. Seeing things from a different perspective, and also connecting with your maybe sensuality, your creativity. Okay, another thing that I'm getting here is not to be telling everyone your business, the good, the bad, the weird, the ugly, okay? Because it's right now transforming and evolving. Okay, now I'm going to be so real with you right now, group number 2. You're going to learn a lesson in boundaries. For you, to find more harmony. It's going to be better for you currently, not all the time, not for everyone and all the energies forever, just for you right now, right here, in this space, to be a little bit more on guard than you normally would. This is not to say to be cold or harsh or anything, but it is to say that, well, right now, you deserve the attention, and right now there might be people around you who they want the tea, or they have an opinion, or they could sway you in this way, or if you're looking the other way, they can take something of yours, or you're like, just be a little, maybe what you would consider a bit pretentious, but it's not actually. Right now, you're going to learn right now that There is a battle that you've been fighting for a really long time that is really not worth it at all. There was no reason for it. It's kind of like whatever pulled the rug out from underneath you. It's like you've been battling for equality or justice or to be heard in a situation that just wasn't going to, and it ended up pulling the rug out from underneath you anyway, or something like this. And you're going to let go all of those energies that were like, just listen to me, just listen to me. Wait, I don't need to say that anymore. That person's not even there. Wait, just see my value. Just treat me better. Just respect me, dude. What in the world? Wait, I don't even work there anymore. I don't even need to worry about it. And so that energy, that one could call it a trauma response, but I'm not going to paint that word over a general reading for reasons that it's very intense and not something to take lightly at all. But that, let's say that organic reaction could be there. And so we'll learn to respond and not to react. And on the other side of things here, you could find that you consistently respond, but you find yourself around a lot of reactions. So keep that boundary a little bit higher, maybe learn a little more about boundaries and things like this, because you're going to find that, oh wait, it wasn't just that situation. I can see mirrors of that all around me, and I'm responding, but I don't want to be around that energy anymore. I'm so done with it. I'm so exhausted. And this is where that, to come into harmony here, take your time. You'll see a few things from a new perspective. Don't be telling other people your business. You know, you can share if you'd like, but keep it to yourself mostly. You know, you can say, yeah, this happened. I'm feeling some type of way about it. It's great, but you don't, not to, just keep those boundaries up. Keep that guard up. Observe, because this isn't as much about how you respond to micro situations as you think that it is. It's really not. It's about you learning that you are outside of that, and you learning that you deserve better than to be in situations that make you even think about that, because who you are is not who a situation made you be or forced you to be. Who you are is not the version of you that's trying to stand up for yourself in the face of oppression. Who you are is not the version of you that's scrambling to get your life together when someone robbed you dry. Now, those experiences can exist, but that's not your character. Befriend your ego. When you're in survival mode for so long, it feels normal, but that's not who you are. It's not who you are, but those versions of you are valid and also deserve love and grace and gratitude as well, because those are two versions of you that love you. So to harmonize your mind, your body, your spirit, be open to change. There are going to be some things you rip off like a band-aid, realization-wise, dream-wise. There are going to be some harsh truths that come to light that have nothing to do with you but do still affect you. And at the end of the day, you're going to find that while it can be easier to find maybe spiritual half-truths, don't hold on to them. You're also going to find that there are some things that that were helpful tools to get you to where you are, that are now time to be released to get you to where you're going, because you are growing and evolving and you deserve that. So befriend your ego. Befriend the ego that was there, befriend the ego that is here, and befriend the ego that will be, in all of its nuances and all of its shapes and sizes. Group number 2, that is your reading about how you can bring more harmony to your mind, body, and spirit. I do have personals open at this moment, so if you'd like, you can find them on my Etsy at Spiritualistik. I have a whole spiritual store there. I make tarot and oracle decks, journals, I wrap crystals, there are candles. Of course, I've got merch up there. I've written a few books, so on and so forth. That's up there along with my personals. I do tarot, channeling, astrology, astrocartography, Reiki, and personalized light codes too. If you want to meditate with me, that's the first link in the description box. I have a 21-day virtual guided meditation retreat that is yours forever once you purchase it. So it is a journey if you walk it from beginning to end, but it's also yours forever, and you can utilize the meditations as you see fit throughout your journey, throughout your life. It can be a nice way to have a go-to every day for a daily meditation, and it's not just the same one consistently, although you can. It's a great way to just have someone hold your hand in those moments, or to help yourself hold yourself accountable to show up for your daily meditations, or to just take the guesswork out of it. If you don't want to just sit there and be quiet, it helps sometimes to have some guidance or direction, or at least a hand to hold, or at least to have the option of a hand to hold. So that is available for you as well. I do have a members only channel here on YouTube. I have another exclusive content channel on Patreon that has different content, and another one that is collective messages on TikTok. I have a public and a subscription platform on TikTok for channeled messages that are more collective oriented as well. Here and Patreon are going to be pick-a-cards. Here on YouTube, my membership channel, it's a little bit more channeled messages. This is where you're going to be connecting with your spirit guides, with the earth, with Gaia, with angels, with passed on loved ones. And Patreon is going to be a little bit more where you get direction for your life. It's a little more of your tangible pick-a-cards. A little more grounded over there. Manifesting, coming into abundance, financial advice, relationships, that kind of stuff. If you feel so inclined, like, comment, and subscribe here. It helps me out so much. And if you want to hit the notification bell, you will be notified when I post new content. If you want to follow me over on TikTok, I have my largest following over there, so I would love to have you in the family over there. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm still finding my vibe over there, so I'd love the support, maybe a comment or two, or just a little DM or something to let me know that you're sending me a hug. It's okay, I would appreciate it. Still finding my vibe over there, I don't want to be homogenous over all the platforms, because I like to grow and evolve too over time, and that embodies change. So I like to give myself space to play, create, express, etc. So that's what I have going on. I love you and I'm grateful for you. You are doing more amazing than you think that you are. And you deserve to know how beautiful and loved and amazing you are. And just because you have to be strong, just because you're good at it, doesn't mean that that's all that you deserve in this world. And it's also not all you're going to have. Let me promise you that from the bottom of my soul. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm, in spite of it all. I love you. I'm grateful for you. And I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, Group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at how you can harmonize your mind, body, and spirit. And you selected the third group with the subtle vibration card. Group number 3. You are in an era of life right now where the little things seem so important. I'm being shown, not that you are being petty, this is not what the energy is. It's a little bit like you feel as though you have to make the right moves right now. It can be that you need to make the correct choices in business. It can be that you really need to get those answers correct on a test. You really need to hit those grades. It can be that you really need to hit that quota. You really need to make your rent or your mortgage. You really need to make the right moves, is kind of what I'm getting here. Now, what I'm getting here, though, is that looking back, this period of life, you will realize that while, yes, the decisions that you make do make an impact in the short term, in the long run, this won't be a very prominent, core memory part of your life. So, this does lead to the fact that while worry or stress or anxiety or other feelings might be very valid, very normal for them to come up, of course, there is also this reminder to zoom out just a little bit. Not an amount that invalidates your feelings or any anxiety or stress or worry, but in a way that allows you to remember that in the long run, this is not even a chapter you will remember. In fact, it's not even a whole chapter. Now, if you've read a book and there's been a chapter that's a little bit longer than the other ones, that is kind of where you are right now. So this era where you feel like, okay, I'm gonna make it to the next chapter. I'm no longer where I was, and I'm on my way to where I'm going. It's just important that I hit the mark. Whatever that energy is about there for you in your life. Group number 3, part of the harmony that's coming through is for you to really focus on the micro not pertaining to what it is that you're doing here, but rather pertaining to the way that you feel in the moment, your fulfillment throughout the day, your joy that you bring into those tasks, the creativity you bring into making those decisions, the enjoyment that you get from learning, focusing on these kinds of energies. Because this is going to be, well, this is not even a chapter. And it's going to be one of those moments that when you think about this chapter of your life, this isn't even one of the parts that really stands out to you. You might need to file back through a few stronger memories for you to reach this one. And that's not to say that what you are walking through isn't important. It is. It's foundation laying. But say that you're building a foundation and you're not in the beginning stages of it. You've got your rhythm down, you've got your flow down, but you're not done building the foundation yet. Say you're in the middle to 3/4 of the way through. This is going to be the part that's not as memorable for you because you were just kind of going with the rhythm. But because maybe you're getting a little tired, because you're getting closer to the end, maybe because the beginning looks a little further away, it feels more important now. Okay, don't mess up. Okay, do the right thing. But it's more important that you're showing up consistently. It's more important that you're enjoying the process. It's more important that you're paying attention to the subtle vibrations, literally paying attention to the flow, paying attention to the vibes, paying attention to the fulfillment. Now, this is for your harmony, mind, body, and spirit. This is also from a higher perspective, zooming out a bit. That being said, that is not to negate, shrink, or invalidate any very valid worry when it comes to, well, you need to hit the mark. Maybe you need to reach a particular quota in work. Maybe you need to reach a particular grade in order to pass. Maybe you need to get a particular GPA to get accepted into that program. So these things are valid. But when you're looking at staying up all night studying, that extra 30 minutes of sleep might actually do you better than extra 30 minutes of studying at 2 o'clock in the morning. So things like this are going to be what you're being asked to take into consideration first and foremost. Still show up for your responsibilities. Still do what you need to do. But you're also at a place where self-care is very important for you because you are walking a long journey right now. And you are closer to the end. But right now, when it comes to stamina, you don't want to push. You don't want to burn yourself out before you get to the end. What you want to do instead is give yourself love. Give yourself what it is that will actually help you support yourself sustainably through this journey. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the tarot. The structure for this reading is we're going to compartmentalize everything and then put them together. So we will look at how you can find harmony in your mind, how you can harmonize your mind, then separately how you can harmonize your body, and then separately how you can harmonize your spirit. At the end, we will look at how you can harmonize your mind with your body, with your spirit. Okay? So, first things first, how can group number 3 further harmonize their mind? Okay, 5 of Cups. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of this tiredness coming through. Okay, so I'm getting to tell you to beware of burnout and also what you are directing your energy towards specifically. For example, say that you are staying up really late watching movies or shows because maybe subconsciously it's the only time you really get to yourself, or maybe because you're focusing so hard on work or on school or on your therapy or whatever it is that it kind of feels like a little vacation, a little escape. And those things are fine and dandy, totally cool by me, but when it turns into unhealthy escapism is going to be when you are staying up all night till 2 in the morning, and it might feel satiating in the moment, but it certainly doesn't the next morning, right? So looking at little things like this, and it might be like, oh, having a cool glass of wine at the end of the day, right? Okay, but not habitually. So we're looking at things like this. Now this is coming through mentally, which is also letting me know here that you have a really solid mental foundation. But a part of what is a part of what you're being reminded of, part of your strength here, is actually your physical capability in this life. What you have built, the fruits of your labor, seeing the results of your effort, looking back and looking at how much of this foundation, if you will, you've built, looking at how many A's you did get, looking at how high your GPA has been or how much work you put forward, looking at how you did build that business from the ground up, or how you did get that promotion, or all those times you did meet that quota, or all those times you could pay your mortgage. Now we have that. The other thing that you're being encouraged to consider a little more often is actually your intuition. How connected that you are to your spirit guides, to universe, source, God, these energies. Your tenacity in showing up for your spiritual practice, your tenacity for doing the work, your diligence, your grace, your devotion to showing up and learning and evolving and growing. And I'm also getting to not slip into unhealthy habits. You have some sort of moral system that you follow, or some sort of system that you follow for like your moral compass, or for virtues, or you have a few little policies that you personally live by that help keep you in check, maybe spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or just in the way that you navigate through the world. And so, to bring your mind into further harmony, you're being encouraged to actually remind yourself of your physical capabilities as well as your spiritual capabilities, because it kind of seems as though we have the physicality, right? Human life, all the things you can touch, feel, taste, smell, touch. I said touch twice. But this, and then this in-between limbo space, we kind of have the mind and maybe some of the emotions. And then up here, we've got the spirituality, the consciousness, all of that beautiful energy. So it seems that the physical, it's solid. It seems like you're on top of everything. Spiritually, you're also solid. It feels like you're on top of everything. So what we're looking at here is a mental space that is looking to reflect this, but still in the process of acknowledging or aligning with those energies, because there's a little bit of a tendency of maybe you could do a little bit more, or you could have performed a little bit better, or you could have gotten one more question right, you could have gotten one more point, you could have made one more sale, you could have been a little more mature, you could have cleaned or worked out or journaled one more day this week, this month, this year. There's a little bit of this reminder here in your mental space, especially during this chapter of your life, to acknowledge the work that you've done and how far you've come, physically and spiritually. Not only because these mirror each other, but because that space in between is trying to show you something. And what that's trying to show you is that it's hard to reach a bar, like standards, requirements, goals. We look at your goal as like a bar to reach. It's hard to reach a particular bar if the bar keeps moving. It's hard to reach a goal if the goal keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it is okay for you to have big goals. It is okay for you to expect a lot from yourself, because you show up for yourself and you do attain your goals. And because you know that you can, you try and you succeed. You know that you will succeed, so you show up and you get it done. On these longer journeys, it's going to be important, especially for you right now, to pay attention to the very small successes, the very small victories. And they might not be what you want them to be necessarily. Say that you want to get 100% on your test, but you got 97% on your test. Please still celebrate the 97%. You can still study harder. You can still do better next time. But in being okay with where you are holds great power, especially in your mental harmony at this time. So there's a little bit of a reality check for your mind space, and it's that you're doing amazing, physically, spiritually, and also that you are on a long journey. Everyone's journey goes in a different direction, looks a little different, has different people, places, situations, pains, successes, weaknesses along it. They're all different lengths. They all move at different paces. They all have different hiccups. And yours is beautiful and unique. This particular journey of yours, it's taking a while. And it's not because you are moving too slow. It's not meant to be shorter or be faster. Mentally right now, the harmony comes from the little things. It comes from, my plants are doing so well right now. It comes from, I woke up so refreshed this morning. It comes from, I took a really beautiful nap today. Or it comes from, yeah, maybe I'm only 50%, 75% through building what it is that I want to build. Maybe there seems to be no end in sight and I've just been trying and trying and trying. I know I'm going to get there, but come on already. If I can just get the right idea. If I can just get a super high score on this one test, then it would just even out my GPA and I would have to worry less. If I could just make one sale that would reach the quota, and then after that I can chill the rest of the month. Whatever this is for you, there is some sort of change that you are creating in your life, and it's a positive one. It's also intuitively led, so you're being called to remind yourself how capable you are, physically and spiritually, and that you have everything to show for it. And celebrate the little wins. Because you're rock solid in the physical, and you're rock solid in the spiritual, and the nuance between it, the emotional response and the mindset, the mental energy and the emotional response to the mental energy. Well, that's a different story here. So to harmonize it, give yourself a reality check and look at the little things. Because sometimes you're trying to take a big bite out of a sandwich, right? And you're not biting off more than you can chew necessarily. You can eat the whole sandwich, but you want to take little bites, and every single little bite gets to be delicious. So it doesn't necessarily need to be that you don't get to take a day off until you reach a particular goal. I did that one time. It was insane. I was so exhausted. It can also be something like you have to absolutely ace this test, so you're going to stay up all night. But you know what actually will help you ace the test? Statistically speaking, getting that sleep instead of just skipping it. So a little food for thought here, literally. There's another message that wants to come through before we move on, and this has to do with your vocalization of disappointments and struggles that you've been going through. I'm getting to tell you to find a healthy outlet, whether this is a journal that you buy, whether it is your spirit guides, whether it is a person, a confidant. I'm getting a childhood friend or someone who's been around you since you were a child, or a spirit guide, or like, again, a journal that you buy or something like this. Connecting with this, like having some sort of safe space to express these emotions, like maybe some of the disappointments, expressing some of the journey, expressing some of those like uphill battles will help you out a lot in the mental space. I'm hearing that song, Take a Load Off Annie, but what I'm really getting here energetically is that you're carrying a lot of mental burden. There's a lot of stress and pressure on yourself. It might feel like you're the only one, who can get good grades on that test. You're the only one who can build your business from scratch. You're the only one who can maybe do what it is that you're doing. But that doesn't mean that you need to be doing it alone. Just because your hands are the only ones doing it, just because your brain is the only one doing the learning, your hands are the only ones taking the test, it doesn't mean that you need to hold everything in. So to find a safe space for expressing those emotions and expressing those, specifically the little things that don't go your way, the little frustrations, the things that feel unfair or just tough or anything like this, that will be very, very helpful for your mental space, very, very healthy for you specifically, okay? So let's take a look at how you can further harmonize your body. Group number 3 is body. Okay, body is tea, I'm hearing. I'm also hearing like, okay, so this didn't just happen overnight. Like, this isn't luck, it's hard work is what I'm hearing. So it's very beautiful. I'm definitely getting that you are on top of maybe your exercise, on top of your diet, on top of your affirmations, on top of your body positivity. I love it. It seems that you are showing up for yourself physically in ways where you are treating yourself like you're special. So amidst all of this, remember how we said physical, like in the physical, you are on it. You're on top of everything. I can definitely see that here. There's this huge aspect of even when things were stacked against you, you still show up. You still eat healthy. You don't eat the junk food. You still exercise. You're still positive towards yourself, right? It's not saying you are 100% perfect 100% of the time, because we all navigate the world differently. But what it is saying is that you're still treating yourself like you're special. You're still doing your face masks. You're still doing your lymphatic draining. You're still using your mouth tape or whatever it is. You're still showing up to your yoga mat, or you're still doing your meditation, your breath work. We're seeing that you are still prioritizing your physical health. Beautiful. Now, what I am getting, though, is maybe a little bit of sleep. Okay, maybe you're not a big napper. Maybe naps can be something huge for you. It can also be something where I'm seeing that energetically, you're not giving yourself the choice to not show up. Even if you show up for 5 minutes, kind of lazily, it's better than not showing up at all. You're showing up just so that you can stay consistent, stay healthy, stay on top of it. We love to see it. Also, there is this luxurious energy that's coming through. So how you can further harmonize your body is to kind of keep doing what you're doing, but don't expect like a little gust of luck here anytime soon. I'm getting that you had it a very long time ago, and now you are utilizing that blueprint. You have the blueprint, now you're putting it into effect. A big aspect of this is to create from this, okay? We're looking at being, well, for lack of a better term, fertile with the Empress here and the Four of Cups. This can be something like, to further harmonize with your body, it can be something like tracking your cycle and syncing your life to it, for those of you who resonate with that. For those of you who don't, this can also look like something where you are connecting with your body and you're like grounding into the earth and you're feeling how your body is one with the earth and all of these things. It can also look a little bit along the lines of you treating yourself like just absolute royalty. Maybe you are doing little things in your life that feel luxurious. They don't need to cost a lot of money. It can be something like taking a bath. And in the bath, you put some salt and you take out your crystals and you put them in the bath and you light a little candle and you've got some incense going and you put some rose petals in the bath and you make it all nice and dark and you use your salt lamp. You play some healing tunes. You put on your favorite show. A little bit of luxury, right? Put on a face mask, a hair mask. You're living life. Things like this. So, to further harmonize with your body, I'm getting that you're really locked in, but this is a wonderful time for you to more deeply connect with your body in different ways than you currently are. So say that you are really into the muscles right now. Maybe you're showing up and you're lifting every day. Well, maybe pulling out a yoga mat, keep doing what you're doing, but maybe exploring your flexibility or your mobility. Maybe doing some qigong will be great. Maybe you've been really active lately. Maybe you've been running a lot. You've been showing up for an Ashtanga practice, whatever it is for you. Maybe a little bit of restorative practices will be really nice for you, or some resistance band training, or some nice salt baths, some foot baths, little things like this. So, like adding the cherry on top and exploring different ways to connect with your body in a healthy way. I am also getting to keep this to yourself a little bit. Now, it's not that you need to keep it a secret or gatekeep, but I am getting, it's not public information, is what I'm getting. For example, you don't take a bubble bath and do a face mask and then you tell everyone, hey, I did a face mask, because it's normal. It's just part of your routine. You don't think to mention it. You don't go and tell people, I exercised today, because it's normal. It's part of your routine. You exercise. Okay, you're active and you did it yesterday and you'll do it tomorrow. It's a little bit of this this energy. Now, the reason why is because there's something about the this coming into the public that might be a little bit, I'm being shown some sort of competitive energy. If you're like, oh yeah, I had the best workout the other day, and someone will be like, well, my workout was da-da-da-da-da, and you're like, okay, I didn't ask. And I'm like, oh, you should try this. You would really like this, but it's not coming from a positive place. It might be coming from a place of competition. It might also be something along the lines. Say that you're a yoga teacher and you have a friend who is also a yoga teacher and you're like, oh, I found this delicious flow, and you share it because you love it and you want to share it with people, and then all of a sudden they're doing it in their class. They try to trademark it as their own. It's just giving like a weird energy here. Don't expect that or manifest or claim that. We're just simply saying, like, to have more harmony in your body, just keep it to yourself. That energy of you, between you, your self-love practice, it's intimate between you, and that involves your body, it involves your exercise, it involves your breath work, it involves your restorative practices, it involves your bubble bath, it involves your skincare, it involves all those wonderful things. So that is what we're getting for further harmony in your body. I'm really getting that you're on top of it here. I have the same a feeling that the same thing will come out for spirit, which we're going to look at now. So how can group number 3 come into more harmony in their spirit? More harmony in spirit. Okay. Which way did you want to fall? Okay. So what I'm really getting is to continue to show up specifically for your spiritual practice, whether you're taking lessons, whether you have a specific practice, a meditation routine, whatever it is, to continue to show up for this. I'm also getting to remind you here, for harmony purposes, every single day, every single meditation, not to expect huge revelations and spiritual phenomena. Actually, a huge part of not just the spiritual awakening journey, but the consciousness journey, which is something that you're learning right now, I'm getting, is that you reach a place in consciousness where there's the spiritual phenomena go away. Because the spiritual phenomena, they are like little strings that are in a sweater. And you're like, oh, there's a string, and you pull on it and it begins to unravel the entire sweater. The sweater being a lesson. And so the more that there are spiritual phenomena, really beautiful, cool, wonderful things, sometimes that can become the center of the practice, the focus of the practice, or, oh, look what I can do. I'm not getting that kind of ego is where you are. But I am getting to tell you to continue to show up for your practice, and that if things like peace, stillness, creative inspiration, calmness are what comes up, instead of, wow, oh my gosh, look at all these colors and images or signs, and I'm getting a revelation, and all of these beautiful extraterrestrial or divine or angelic energies, those things are really great and they're really cool, but also you will reach a point in your spiritual journey where you are reaching now that's outside of this. And it's beautiful because it is being one with spirit, not a manifestation of spirit that is part of the path of the journey to get you to full spirit. It is like we will use different spirit guides or certain tools or certain things in order to be an intercessor between us and spirit, source, universe, God, consciousness. For your harmony spiritually, it's going to be for you to realize that there's not much realization that is needed to be occurring for you, and that it's okay if you find a place where moving forward looks like stability, or a place where that stability moves you forward. And also, there's going to be a lot of self-love that comes through here, especially for your spiritual journey. Now, group 3, I know that you have a self-love practice. I know that you actively love yourself. I know that if I tell you, love yourself even more, even deeply, more, you're going to say yes. Yes, absolutely. There's no, oh, maybe I love myself too much. No. There's no, and it's not in a like narcissistic or arrogant way. It's in a space of compassion, in a space of grace, in a place of consciousness. That's totally different. So I see here that you are consistently learning spiritually new ways that you can show kindness to yourself. Another thing about the spiritual harmony is allowing yourself to receive. Now you're going to notice that this little mental battle here, this journey, this long journey that you're on, as well as where your spiritual journey is headed at this moment. Now I'm going to say something to you, and part of you is going to say, yes, I already know that. Another part of you is going to go, okay, then where is it? And another part of you is gonna think, well, I've been hearing that, knowing that, thinking that, feeling that for so long now. Okay, tick-tock. And it is that. This is preparing you for a huge period of receiving in your life. Learning how to receive. Giving to yourself first. See, I knew it. Giving to yourself first. Now, you've been building, you've been investing and waiting for that return. Now let me explain how this journey will look for you a little bit so that you can understand at the very least that you're not just digging towards an ominous, unknown destination. First of all, as you know, you are loving yourself. You're giving yourself so much love. You're treating yourself so well. Now, we have this little mental hiccup here that can sometimes affect your emotions that has to do with what you're not receiving back from external sources. But you are giving it to yourself, and that is where this begins. This is not to say you don't deserve it. It's not to say that you're not watching other people maybe pass you up. You're not watching other people do less for more. Your journey is your own. It is sovereign. We're paying attention to the subtle vibrations here for you and you alone. The next thing that you're going to notice here is that you begin to enjoy making the investment without thinking that there will be a return from investment. We're looking at, you want to meditate for the sake of meditating, just like you now love yourself for the sake of loving yourself. You do nice things for yourself for the sake of doing nice things for yourself. You are eating healthy, or you're working out for the sake of eating healthy or the sake of working out. You're reading for the sake of reading. You're not reading so that you can say you read a book. You're not reading so you can get smarter. You're not exercising because you want to get hotter. You're exercising because you want to exercise. You're not eating healthy because you want to XYZ. You're eating healthy because you want to eat healthy. You're loving yourself because you want to love yourself. Now, this is going to finish this off here by saying, now you're going to build for the sake of building. You're not giving to receive. You are giving for the sake of giving. You are building for the sake of building, to enjoy the process of building, not about what will come or when will come or how it will come. Simply building for the process, building for the sake of building, just like you do with all these other energies. Now, this is where you're going to find that nuance comes in, where there's a little bit of work, and it's not something where you roll up your sleeves and you get it done and then you start receiving. This is releasing the outcome, enjoying the process, building, and this is where also, right in the beginning, we said, making sure that you're enjoying the process, making sure that you are giving yourself little kindnesses, you are taking your time, you are appreciating where you've been in order to get to where you're going, you're celebrating the little wins, you're enjoying the journey, you're having fun, you're showing up positively with a good attitude, not because you have to, but because you want to. It's okay if it takes time because you enjoy being here. And that is where you're going to find things start to enter your life, and you'll begin to receive when you're not focused on receiving. You'll begin to receive things that are beyond your wildest imagination, or things that you were like, oh, that would be so cool if I could manifest that, but maybe, probably not, or at least not this year, at least not in the next few years, probably later. You're going to find those kinds of things coming into your life. Not because you are seeking to receive them, but because the universe hears you. Not just what you say out loud, not just what you think, but those subtle vibrations, like what's in your heart. It also watches you. It watches as you learn to love yourself. It watches as you step less into spiritual wonderland and Disneyland and more into consciousness. It watches how you learn how to show up for the sake of showing up, be consistent for the sake of consistency, to love for the sake of loving, to give for the sake of giving, and then finally to receive for the sake of receiving. So, let's see. Now this is how these things connect. The harmony for you spiritually, it looks a lot like releasing those spiritual phenomena, releasing the spiritual Disneyland, and stepping into consciousness. And finding that there will be a journey there about, okay, so now what? Where do I put this? Now that I'm outside of all of these, my head's not in the clouds. Now I look down, but I see clouds, so I don't know how to affect what's underneath the clouds because all I see are clouds, but I'm not in them anymore. So now what do you do? So there's a little bit of this too. And the answer, by the way, it is to build for the sake of building. It's to show up for the sake of showing up. It's to love for the sake of love. It's to give for the sake of giving. It's to receive for the sake of receiving. It really is that simple. That's not to say the journey is that simple. But to come back to this knowing in your heart, okay, remember that this was shared with you. And remember that this is also something that you can utilize in order to find more peace, in order to harmonize, in order to balance, and in order to just, at the very least, have an idea of what to do. A little bit of a guidebook. not rules, just guidance. So let's see. Magician at the back of the deck. Let's see how you can harmonize your mind with your body, with your spirit for group number 3. Ooh, the Temperance. Okay. I'm hearing this old like Christian song. It's called Lose My Soul, I think, by Toby Mac. I don't want to gain the whole world and lose my soul. So a little bit of patience here. You might find that this is something that maybe, I don't want to say tests you a little bit, okay, but maybe, maybe just a smidge. It might be, okay, but I'm doing everything right. Where are the results? And you might notice how that can take you just a little bit, maybe just a hair, out of that version of you that you are in every other aspect of your life. You'll notice that this is something that it pokes at you a little bit more than other things. So to really, really, in those moments, when you find that coming up, utilize that as a sign, okay, meditate, or use that as a sign if that's not available to you, okay, take a deep breath, or close your eyes, 3 seconds, look internally, and to just kind of reset. Whatever helps you with your peace, whatever helps you with your patience. If that's a face mask, and it's if that's a face mask, it's a face mask. If it's a meditation, it's a meditation. Okay, so to harmonize your mind with your body, with your spirit, you're being encouraged to continue to move forward spiritually, even if the road ahead seems less defined, even if you're on a road that seems less traveled. Well, that lets you know that you are definitely doing something right. It also lets you know that your heart is going to be showing you a path that feels like you're going to be changing paths. Let me give you a hint, though. You're not going to change what you're doing. It is going to evolve. Now, you don't need to figure out a whole different plan. But you evolve. Therefore, the quality of what you're doing, the energy, evolves. You're also going to find that your path expands. More options are open to you. More areas of life unlock. More beautiful things unlock for you. But you might feel a change in the wind. You might feel, okay, we're in uncharted territory now. If I follow my heart, I don't know, it's going to lead me away from something. And you're going to find that those periods of, I don't want to say insecurity, but let's just say lack of clarity, those moments of confusion, where you finally make it through the clouds, and so you look down from above them and you realize that still all you see are clouds, even though you've escaped them. Those moments here, you're going to find harmony by continuing to build for the sake of building, because remember, this is the advice here. To build for the sake of building, to meditate for the sake of meditating, to be consistent for the sake of consistency, to show up for the sake of showing up, to love for the sake of loving, so on and so forth. You'll find that in doing this, those little energies where that energy, when applied to those spots, maybe like receiving, maybe like, I don't know, perhaps it's listening, perhaps it's receiving, perhaps it's acknowledgement or being seen, those little tiny areas where that feels a little prickly or a little uncomfortable, when applied across the board, you're going to find that those things clear up. And when those things clear up, you're going to find the path before you. So, in a lot of ways, in most ways, keep doing what you're doing. To harmonize these things together, be open to things fully changing for you, because there are going to be a lot of situations in your life that are not the way that they are right now. For example, if you're single, you might be in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, you might be single. If you work in one field and not another, you might end up in both. If you think there's absolutely no way in heck, you might be surprised. Okay, so just be open to interpretation. Okay, another thing that I want to tell you, okay, to harmonize the mind with the body and the spirit, one thing I do want to tell you, okay, well actually there are two. One is to stay on top of your, what we call in the spiritual community sometimes, shadow work. Not because there is something here that's healed or it's broken or it's coming up or anything like this. Not because there are patterns that you're walking through, but simply because it helps you continue along your path of self-awareness. Not to tell yourself that you're stuck in patterns that you're not. Not to tell yourself that you're broken or you're a self-improvement project when you're not. Okay, that's not the point. The point here is for you to find that, well, there's going to be a reason why when we apply this energy across the board, there are a few spots, like receiving for the sake of receiving, where you're like, oh, I don't know about that one. So we're drawing awareness to that. Because when even though you've broken the pattern, even though you understand the energy, even though you've been showing up consistently, when the love of your life shows up with a big bow on their head, when that big job promotion shows up with a big bow on that proposal, when that big break comes through wrapped in a beautiful ribbon, you don't want to go, scary, and then say, okay, yes, thank you, and then, what do I do about this? And then, okay, great, and then, just for that. Again, not wrong, not bad. Just, you deserve to enjoy the enjoyable things when they come in, especially you're working really hard for them, mind and body and spirit. And so this is what we see. We have a few more cards for you here. Things are going to be changing a lot for you. And so you're being encouraged to focus on your consciousness, not the spiritual Disneyland, okay? It's very fun, very entertaining, very distracting, but to focus on the consciousness above all else. It doesn't mean that you have to fully disengage. It doesn't mean that one is wrong and one is right, but it is just a reminder here to harmonize these things together. Continue to put one foot in front of the other and trust that there are energies that are supporting you that you don't currently see. They will be grounding sooner rather than later, but right now, as you know, there are some energies around you that keep popping up that maybe they don't want to see you succeed, or they want to show up and they want to see the hard work that you're doing, and they want to try to take those results. You've seen that happen time and time again. You might see it another time or two, but you'll get better at recognizing it, okay? Just being real with you here. It's what I see. But with this being the case, it is not your fault if someone comes and moves around you weird, okay? It is not your fault if you see the red flags, but you have a little extra faith, you have a little more faith in humanity than you have maybe discipline towards those red flags. That is okay. That is not a bad character trait. But what we're seeing here is just for harmony, for the whole system here, we're going to find that things transform for you. You're going to focus on the consciousness. You're going to keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you're going to trust that there's a lot of support, physical support, that wants to see you win a lot more than there are ops, a lot more. And they're going to show themselves kind of around the time when you begin to stand up for yourself a little bit more. And you're going to be surprised because you're thinking, how can I stand up for myself anymore? I feel like I am standing up for myself, right? Now, there's this level of self-advocacy that is showing up here for you. But it's not really giving so much verbal energy. It's more of a spiritual energy. It's more of an, let's say, an energetic barricade, if you will. Not a barricade blocking things out, but let's just say we're either letting everything in, or maybe we've got the gate closed and things can only kind of drip. Think of a faucet being all the way on, and whatever water's in the pipes, it's going to come through. Or it's on a drip, so you can examine very carefully every single drip that comes through. So energetically, what we're doing is we're putting a water filter on that faucet, and we know exactly the kind of water filter that it is, so that you can have as much confidence in the things that are coming in, no matter the amount, no matter how on or off or in between the faucet is. And you know the clarity of what's coming through. So that is what you're working on currently energetically. And this is the kind of thing that you are working through by experiencing it, and it's also connected to your heart chakra. When you finish learning this in all other areas, there's going to be an activation of this in your love life. And this is going to be the final boss. I'm going to be so real with you. It's going to be the final boss. And there's going to be something that's very public about this. And there's going to be some sort of choice or decision or energy that's coming into balance that seems like it happens so quickly. So quickly. And your job, just like you did for the area of life that you're working on right now, just like you learned to love for the sake of love, to work for the sake of work, to grow for the sake of growing, to meditate for the sake of meditating, to eat for the sake of eating, to da-da-da-da-da-da, that. Same answer. Same answer. Different setting. I'm going to be so real for you. You're going to find that this changes you. You're going to find that there are energies that you didn't realize are still in there. You're going to realize that you want to move forward away from the situation as much as you do want to move forward with the situation. And it's going to be for the same reason mentioned before. When you finally get that car with a big bow on it, you feel like, oh my gosh, but I can't, how could I wear these pants inside that car? How could I put that amount of money into this bank? I need a better bank. You're gonna think. And it might even be inside out. How could I possibly put these clothes in that car? So, it might look like you going to the store and upgrading your wardrobe so that you can present it to the boss at your promotion. And it might look like you throwing back on that old ratty t-shirt because that job no longer requires you to dress up. And your discernment here is probably going to go a little hot, cold, hot, cold. That's how you know you're right on top of it. And let me tell you something. What I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen right now. It's going to happen soon. But one thing at a time. I'm letting you know the subsequent order of things. With that being the case, keep your spiritual journey as a stronghold in your life. Keep your self-care, your self-love, the care that you have for your body, a stronghold in your life. Those itty-bitty, teeny-tiny little prickles in that mental space that came out at the beginning of the reading, solidify the heck out of those. You owe it to yourself. Because if, God forbid, there be a day where you second-guess yourself for any reason at all, you want to make sure you've already taken care of it. And you have. You have. So, these subtle vibrations here, you're paying attention to the nitty-gritty, the very tiny details. You are loving yourself for reasons that are not just following a moving bar. You are being grateful for yourself for getting a 97% on that test instead of 100%. You are celebrating the fact that you made it another year around the sun, another year at that crappy job without a promotion. You're celebrating the fact that you made a new friend. You're celebrating the fact that you got rid of that friend that was jealous of you. You're celebrating your life because you're celebrating for the sake of celebrating. And that is the point. You are loving yourself, showing up for yourself for the sake of loving and showing up for yourself. That energy is going to walk you through different areas of life once you finish mastering it. And when it does, the answer will remain the same. Again, the spiritual phenomena, the, let's just say the entertainment, you will go beyond it. You will be at peace. Your challenge now will be to face the entertainment outside of yourself in different areas of life and maintain that peace. You're not being spun for a loop anymore. And that is about to ground into your physical reality. But until then, you will see a reward of your investment, more than you're thinking, by the way, in a lot of surprising ways that you're going to think are really cool. And also, you're going to have a couple, let's say, unwarranted headaches, but you're going to show up for yourself because you always have, you always do, and you show up for the sake of showing up. How could you not? You're going to be so there by the time there's any little hiccup. Or just letting you know. Group number 3. That is your message on how you can harmonize your mind, body, and spirit at this moment in time. If you're interested in a one-on-one with me or meditating with me, both those links are in the description box. Okay, my personals are on Etsy at Spiritualistik. I do have a whole spiritual store up there. I create tarot and oracle decks. I have written a few books. I make journals, meditation cushions, which segues into my meditation retreat. It is 21 virtual, obviously guided meditations that you have access to forever. You can take them as a journey, like a retreat. It will level you up regardless of where you are. It's good for beginners. It's good for advanced. I mean it when I say that. It's also a wonderful way to help hold yourself accountable or have a little bit of a hand to hold or take the guesswork out of your daily meditation practice if you kind of don't know where to go from here, or if it's hard to stay accountable, or if you just want to wake up in the morning and, I don't know, get yourself into the meditation. It just helps. Some people like to listen to them on like super duper speed because it makes them check it off. It helps them find their peace, and then also they're not stressing about sitting still. I don't know, everybody's a little bit different. So whatever works for you. With that being said, I love you and I'm grateful for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If it resonates, it would mean the world to me. It helps me out a lot. I do have 3 exclusive content pages. I have one here on YouTube, which is a lot of channeled messages, spirit guides, angels, passed on loved ones, things like that. I also have one on Patreon that is also pick a card readings, but it's a little bit more finances, relationships, abundance, things like beautifying your life, things like that. And then I have one on TikTok. I have a public and private page on TikTok. They're both collectives. So there's a public one and then there's a subscription one. So you can join those as well. If you also want to follow me on Instagram, you'll find me over there too. I just post stuff. I'm still finding my vibe over there. So with that being said, I love you and I'm grateful for you. Oh, also I have a book club. So if you want to join it, it's donation based. We read one short-ish book every other month. So you have 2 whole months to read the book. That way it's not homework. It's just a nice way to form community. We always have really cool thought-provoking conversations. And it's a nice way to just have kind of a like-minded book club community. It's something I wanted to do, and I don't know, it's just been really fun. So have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. Whatever you're doing, lock in. I swear you're doing so much better than you think that you are doing, and you are going to be so surprised at the changes that life brings to you, and also some of the changes that life doesn't bring for you. I'm just gonna say it. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm, and I will see you next time. Namaste.